Well, hi, everybody, and welcome to another University of Michigan School of Nursing webinar. I'm Dr. Barbara Medvec, and I'm going to serve as your host tonight as we talk with our guest, Aliza Ramos, one of our Leadership Analytics and Innovation graduate students, about her perspective of the master's program in Leadership Analytics and Innovation. I'm going to share my screen, and Aliza is going to join us, and we'll kick this off here. So Aliza, thank you for joining this evening. I'm really happy to have you here, and thank you for being willing to share a little bit about our Leadership Analytics and Innovation program. For those of you who are joining us, just a reminder to mute your microphone. We'll have lots of time for questions at the end. Think about any other questions you might have about our program. We'll give you information to private email us or our graduate admissions team if you have additional questions. And we're going to go ahead and take a look a little bit at some of our slides this evening. So welcome and thank you for joining us. We're excited to tell you about our academic year 2023-24 program. As I indicated, I am Dr. Barb Medvec, and I am the clinical assistant professor who has the program lead in the faculty advising for the LAI Master's program. Our program is fully digital and has been in place now for the last 3 academic years. You can see that I am from the department within this School of Nursing here in Ann Arbor for systems, population, and leadership. And with that, we look at large systems, large groups of people, large populations, and look at systematic change, leadership opportunities, and areas for improvement. My scholarship is focused in workforce, burnout, digital learning, virtual reality, where we're developing new simulations for leaders to use as a way of orienting and gaining competency, as well as quality and safety. You can see my email address here, as well as my Twitter access. It's my pleasure tonight to introduce Aliza Ramos. She has her bachelor's degree, is a registered nurse, has been in our LAI graduate program for some time, and she serves currently as a bone marrow transplant ambulatory care nurse here at the University of Michigan Medical Center. She has areas of focus in her career, and she'll tell you more about that in adult hematology and oncology, as well as adult bone marrow transplant and leukemia. So Aliza, welcome. And I know you've got a lot to say to our audience, so I'm going to let you chat with them a little bit about your experience as an LAI graduate student.
Sure thing. Thanks so much, Dr. Medvec, and I'm so excited to be here with all of you. Yes, lots to share. This is a really great program. I've enjoyed it so much this far. I know with joining any type of graduate program, graduate school, there's always the question of, how do I balance my life? How do I balance work and school while being a graduate student, personal life? And so all of those things, I questioned the same thing before I entered this program. And it sounds very cliche, but I will say a lot of time management. And I feel like that's something we're also continuing to learn. Balancing work and school is never easy. And I know me and a lot of my colleagues, we still work full time while being in school. And even for those who are working part-time, it's rather difficult. But what's great about this program is it's online and it is digital, and it's very kind of to your liking. So what works for you, it really tailors to your lifestyle. The professors and the classes are very user-friendly, and they're willing to work with you in whatever is going on with your life, with your work schedule. So it's really nice because it does create kind of a good balance. It is difficult when all of them seem to collide all at once, and that can happen. However, like I said, the professors are really great. They're very communicative. They're always open to any questions, suggestions that you do have. If you're dealing with a lot of things, if you're busy, which life happens all the time. They are very understanding, and this program is really designed to help you be able to still work, have your own personal life, but still keep up your education and learn as you go. Things that I really enjoy about the program so far, I've built so many great relationships. I formed really great connections with different leaders around the organization at U of M. I've been able to use a lot of what is taught to us in this program in my own workplace. So it's been really nice to be able to bring everything that I have learned and gained knowledge from within this program and utilize it within my workspace, and be able to enrich those around me in utilizing these tools as well. So.
Well, thanks, Aliza. I know we're going to have more questions for you as we continue, and I encourage you to pipe in as we kind of look for a few minutes at the curriculum, okay? So you may wonder, well, how did this leadership analytics and innovation program come to be? And we decided 4 years ago, pre-COVID, to make a change to make this leadership master's degree and focused in analytics and innovation, but also to make it fully online and digital. As we talked to CEOs and chief nursing officers from around the country, they told us the types of leaders they wanted were action-oriented, with improvement on their mind around quality and safety, but their ability to manage both business and strategic planning. They also said they were looking for individuals who could understand data and analytics, make decisions, and still practice in an interprofessional team. And the cherry on top from their perspective was looking for individuals who could lead innovation for their organizations, be persistent, and communicate with authority, executive presence with their leaders, and really lead by example and inspiration. They were pretty clear that during COVID, while we saw that great resignation, we saw a lot of nurses leaving the bedside. We also saw nurses that were filling the leadership gap, working towards leading organizations, even up to and through into the boardroom. We saw in COVID, nurses were critical in leading innovation, and really nurses in their ability to analyze and synthesize data. These CEOs and CNOs are really looking for nurses with an action orientation. We know from being nurses in leadership roles like myself and others that nursing leadership is not always just happening at the front line. It's hard work no matter where it is, but the faculty at the School of Nursing at the University of Michigan feel strongly that every nurse is a leader. Every nurse can step up to innovate and create change. And so our focus is really bringing a contemporary program to those who are interested in master's degree to really build that next generation of nurses that are going to replace the retiring nurses and continue to make improvement in healthcare and nursing practice so that we don't continue to repeat the mistakes that happened years ago. And while we are having a brain drain of retired nurses leaving nursing, we also have that great next generation that's really stepping up and into leading practice and making changes. So everyone is hiring. If busloads of nurse leaders pulled up in front of most organizations, they'd be hired because individuals are really looking for quality leadership. While the impact of COVID-19 is still not fully recovered, if you will, we still see downturn in revenue, downturn in volume, changes. The waves of retirement that we're experiencing, the gaps in service, and the changing really landscape of healthcare is making this a no-brainer, that this degree is very, very marketable out in practice. We know today there are lots of new opportunities. Yes, you can have traditional models of care, but in industry, we see a growth in nursing in technology sectors, informatics sectors, insurance sectors, and in that virtual or remote care sector. We see nursing opportunities in public policy and in legislative action. We continue to see evolving roles around patient and family-centered care, hospital care at home, and new leadership opportunities seem to be evolving every time we turn around. So these opportunities, as they continue to grow, we're seeing our graduates really step up and into these new roles. Do they all have leader or manager in their title? Absolutely not. But do they draw on innovation? Do they draw on analytics? Do they draw on leadership principles? Absolutely yes. This is a list of job roles that are out there. It's pretty traditional. I could spend my day, every day, updating this slide with new titles and new areas of focus that people are climbing up and into. But across the continuum, there are roles that are available: care management, case management, risk and safety, quality. All of these areas continue to be really bubbling with opportunities for nurses to step up. Public policy and health policy is another area, as is kind of that whole post-acute care community, from home care, durable medical equipment, private practice, community services, as well as skilled subacute and rehab services. So lots of opportunity for growth and development with a master's degree in leadership analytics. I usually say, so why do you want to come to the University of Michigan? Because we are the leaders and the best, because we're ranked in the top 10 according to US World and News reports in our graduate nursing education. And because while we have a strong research focus, we have faculty who see graduate nurses as the future of nursing, and we welcome them in to our work, to our research, to our ideas, because you are the next leaders for healthcare. You can see some of our areas of focus here around implementation science, health information technology, interdisciplinary communication, trauma-based care, emergency preparedness, simulation, and virtual reality development. So we have lots of opportunities, and you'll find faculty very much welcome in students if you demonstrate an interest in their area of research. So we have basically, based on our stakeholders, built a program that focuses on nurses' leadership skills, their ability to innovate and to analyze data, to use strategic and critical thinking, to really leverage evidence-based practice, and to have confidence in their leadership and collaboration so that they can really step up and into the gaps that are existing in healthcare today. This is a conceptual framework of how Michigan sets itself apart. You can see complexity of care, interprofessionalism, patient as well as population-centered care, and innovation. And those are some of the focus values that we have in practice across our School of Nursing. And for the LAI program, we are looking to build data-driven, innovative, action-oriented nursing leaders. And we've surrounded our program, as we surround you as a graduate student, with work around analytics, technology, policy, informatics, strategy, operations, and systems leadership. This is a sneak peek at our curriculum. Aliza, if you need to jump in with anything, please do so. But if you look at the blue side, of course, we're maize and blue. If you look at the blue side, these are typically all of our core courses, and students may go part-time or full-time. A full-time load is typically about 9 credits, 7 to 9 credits in a semester. A part-time load is usually 4 to 6 credits in a semester. And for those situations where life happens, babies, births, family illnesses, COVID, you name it, we make modifications so that you can continue in the program at your own pace. You do have individualized courses. One of these is required, and that is our Leadership Analytics and Innovation Immersion, where you work about 224 hours with a leader of your choice that we establish for you to really learn and grow from their challenges, their plans, their development, as a nursing executive leader. And then you have 6 credits of individualized electives that you may choose from anything that we offer in the School of Nursing. And quite frankly, you can go shopping across the entire university catalog to find electives that may fit your specific trajectory. All in, this is a 34 credit master's degree with 28 in core credits, 6 credits in those electives that we talked about. It's fully online, so there will be no need to come to campus every week. The only need to come to campus is one annual intensive, which happens every May. And for coming to that annual 4-day intensive, you'll learn about lots of things we can't teach over the digital airways, but you'll learn and work in simulations and group activities to really continue to build your toolkit of leadership tools and information. And then you have your immersion where you can work locally with an identified executive expert that we will find and connect you with for 224 hours in your program. So we're trying to build on the core foundations that are important to nursing right now: analytics, leadership, innovation, as well as informatics. While you're here in the program, you will have some opportunities to choose additional certificates. You can choose one in health informatics, education, global health, or a concentration with the School of Public Health in occupational health. It's important to know that our program has infused and included all of the criteria and standards through the American Nurse Credentialing Center for their nurse executive certification, as well as for the American Organization of Nursing Leaders for their nurse leader certification. So you'll have the hours and the content when you graduate to be able to sit for one of these certifications. You still have to do the studying and pass the exam, but you'll have had all the content. Aliza, is there anything you want to jump in on in any of these details?
Yeah, no, this is all great information. One of the things that I actually really enjoyed the most was the annual intensive. I found this to be super great. It's nice because when you do get to go to this, you get to see those who you're working with online in person, meet face to face, build those connections, even with the faculty too. So definitely an important part of the program, I would say, and it's worth it for sure. I think you have some great opportunities within those 4 days. And so those were one of my favorite parts of the program. And I just wanted to share that as well. Yes, all this information is so great. And like Dr. Medvec said, this program is very modified to our liking and how we try to work as professionals and as students. So they are always willing to work with you. And I think that's another one of the most enjoyable parts of this program.
So one of the things you'll get used to is seeing each other in Zoom sessions. Many faculty have open office hours where they open their office via Zoom once a week for students to drop in, to have questions. Our program is built on group activities because we know that for you to be successful in digital learning, you have to have a network. And Aliza, you may agree, you just said that you've really developed key relationships, and you will in this program, because if you work in isolation, you're not going to get as much out of it as you possibly can. And it's more difficult. It's easier when you're working with a group of people, perhaps from the area, or as we know, about half of our students come from around the country. So you'll get used to lots of Zoom faces and Zoom meetings, and you'll have fun when you come to the 4-day intensive, because the people you've been looking at in Zoom for however long, you only know them from their Zoom headshots or their backgrounds. And I'm always shocked that people are very different when I meet them face to face and we finally get to see each other in person. So a little bit about considering this program. We accept students for a fall cohort starting in August of 2023. And we have a winter cohort that starts in winter of 24. And this year, our start date is going to be January 10th. We're adding more time for students in that Christmas, New Year's holiday segment. We accept applications anytime for either of these cohorts, but the final deadline for the fall cohort is June 1st. You are, and I'm already sending out announcements and notices of students that have been admitted and are being accepted into the program. So we'll take your application when you send it. We'll work it through with you. You'll get an early notice of admission if you are admitted into the program. Similarly, we have an early deadline for the winter cohort, and then our final deadline is October 1st of 2023. So 2 opportunities, and people come to a cohort for lots of different reasons. We'll find a lot of young families will start in the winter because in the fall and the September timeframe, it's really hard with kids as you're getting your kids back to school. These are the application requirements. You have to create a nursing CAS account. We ask you to get all of the official transcripts for any of your post-secondary education. A word of warning, these do take a little bit of time, so you really have to plan for that. We ask you to provide 3 letters of recommendation, with at least 2 of those coming from nurses who have a higher or an advanced degree. We ask for your CV or your resume. We ask you to give us a personal statement. And then as you complete these requirements, you'll be asked to do a Kira talent interview, which is a timed sequence of questions that you have to sit and do and answer to in a 5-minute kind of cycle for each question, and you have to do it all at once. And so that helps us understand you as a person, what you're bringing to the program, what you want from the program, and where you want to take this. So these are the application requirements. This is our LAI program website, online.nursing.umich.edu. Our program information can be found at nursing.umich.edu. Our graduate admissions office, and that team is always willing to see you and take care of you. You can see their email address here. And then my email, which I highly encourage you to use if you have questions about the program. I think with that, we're going to open for questions. And thank you for joining. And Aliza and I are going to get out of these slides for a few minutes and have you join us. So while you're thinking about questions, Aliza, do you have questions that you typically answer at this point that people are interested from you about the program?
Yeah, sure. I know a lot of common questions are, what are the classes like? Are you able to sift through them at a pace that feels right for you? Work-life balance, school balance. And so, yeah, I mean, getting used to Canvas was definitely something that it was new to me. However, the site itself is very user-friendly. It walks you through exactly what you should be looking at. Again, all the syllabus and the contact information for your professors are laid out there. So they make it very easy to communicate with them, which is really nice. I know sometimes, if not most of us, have never really used online classes before or been in an online program. I myself never have. So again, being in this online world was very new. But because of the great faculty and the leadership here in this program, they made it very easy to become accustomed to everything and adjust well. So it sounds scary in the beginning. I understand that for sure. But it was definitely something that I eased into rather quickly. So I wouldn't worry too much on that.
Thanks, Aliza. That's really good. Another question I get often is, can I work and go to school? And I will tell you that 98% of our LAI students are working. Most of them are all working well over 30 hours. In fact, usually in their second or third term, they're accepting some type of a new job promotion. So that's always interesting and still a stressor. You're getting a new opportunity. You're trying to finish grad school. So you can work and you can go both full-time and part-time. It really just depends on you and how you organize and regiment kind of the work that you do. Usually I tell people that for every credit you take in a semester, most of our classes are 3 credits. We go for 14 weeks in a semester. We have 3 semesters a year. For any course that you're taking, you need to plan about 3 to 4 hours of work, reading, gathering assignments, whatever, for every credit. So if you're taking a 3 credit course, 3 times 3 hours a week is 9 hours. So for that 3 credit hour course, you can expect to spend somewhere around 7 to 9 hours of weekly work for 14 weeks. So that is kind of how we gauge the work, and we've been very conscious about not loading too much work into each week. We still get a little log jams around spring breaks and holiday breaks, but in general, we try to really keep the balance so that you're not feeling overwhelmed and you can really plan for what is coming in the course. Aliza, any other things you can think of before we sign off tonight? I've gotten all the questions out of chat. So anything else?
I think just one good thing I would want to touch on too. I know there are usually questions around, what is the immersion like? Would I be able to put my input? And so, yes to both of those things. Whatever interests you have in leadership, anything that really is tailored to, why you chose this program, you're always open to share it with the faculty leads here and, with those who are working around placing our clinical arrangements and our assignments. And so they do take into account your interests and where you would like to be. Again, this is something you could do local. So I know a lot of our students aren't specifically in Michigan, but there are always great opportunities. And again, they're always willing to work with you. So it's it's a very interesting, yet fun and educational piece of the program. So.
Well, the immersion really lets you start to figure out your path as you observe and work with other leaders. And so one thing that's different for U of M is that we have a clinical placement team that does the contracting and works with you to find the placement you want. Many programs that are online make you go out and find them. We don't. We have an office that provides you that support. And we have faculty who work one-on-one with those mentors that you're working with out in the field. You have options of splitting your time up so that you could even work with 2 mentors over 2 semesters. So this is me yawning because it's been an early day for me. I started really early today, and I apologize. It is not the content. We really hope that you'll consider our program of LAI and a master's degree to continue to advance your career. If you are a new graduate or an undergraduate, this program is open to you. We're going to highly encourage that you work at least part-time and go to school part-time, but this is doable within your career. And I say to you, we're looking for leaders. You're the next generation. So absolutely consider a master's degree early in your career. With that, I'm going to let us go. I'm going to thank Aliza Ramos for joining us. I know that it's never easy to come and talk about your journey as a graduate student, but thank you for doing that. And everybody, thank you for joining us. And it wouldn't be me if I didn't say go blue. So we'll see you soon, and reach out to us as you need to. Have a great night.